Governance activities at the federal level is now expected to pick up fully with the inauguration of the 45 confirmed ministers into the Federal Executive Council. President Bola Tinubu, performing the inauguration at the State House Conference Center, implored the new ministers to be nationalistic in the discharge of their responsibilities. State House correspondent Musbah and Wahab reports.
The renewed Hope Crusader has taken the lead in the implementation of his manifestos to actualize the dreams and aspirations of Nigerians, but he is expected to go faster and farther. He has chosen some helping hands for the supervision of ministries and for efficient and effective governance. 48 were called, but these 45 are the chosen ones as confirmed by the National Assembly. They would commit their loyalty to the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the President and Commander-in-Chief.
With the inauguration of ministers today, we are about to accelerate our governing efforts to move forward, realizing our best aspiration for Nigeria.
Much expectations and aspirations for a greater Nigeria. Their principal clearly understands this as he prepares his subordinates that the call to service to engender developmental activities much needed in the country is not going to be a walk in the park.
Nigeria expects that you will serve with integrity, dignity, and deliver. And we hold you to that standard. We all promise Nigerians. Your assignment began immediately. Minister of Federal Republic you are, not minister of a region or minister of a particular state.
We have to start work immediately. And there are new opportunities in the power sector today, unlike before. All the legislations required for the unbundling of the value chain has been passed.
Everybody knows what's been happening in that solid mineral sector of the economy. It's been frittered away. Nigeria has been shortchanged. We've been receiving the shorter end of the stick. There is going to be a critical departure from that norm.
We are hoping for the best for this renewed hope agenda of the current administration. We have work to do, and it starts now as a parliament.
Thank you. And so the renewed hope manifesto of this administration can now be properly translated into policies and programs and implemented at a faster pace with the additional hands of these new ministers on the deck. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shatima will today depart Abuja for Johannesburg, South Africa, to represent President Bola Tinubu at the 15th BRICS Summit of Heads of State and Government. In a statement by the Director of the Information Office of the Vice President, Olushola Abiola, Vice President Shatima will be joining other business and political leaders across the world at the summit scheduled for Sandton Convention Center, Johannesburg, from August 22nd to 24th. The summit is expected to deliberate on issues of trade and investment facilitation, sustainable development, innovation and global governance reform. It will also continue its outreach to leaders from Africa and the Global South as it focuses on global geopolitics, trade and infrastructure development. The Vice President will be accompanied on the trip by some senior government officials, and he is expected back in the country at the end of the week. The media has been implored to expand their technology and infrastructure base to meet the fast pace of ever-changing trends in the media landscape and continue to amplify the voice of the ordinary people. This came up at the opening of the 6th BRICS Media Forum in Johannesburg, South Africa, where the BRICS member states said they are ready to share resources, knowledge and technology amongst them and Africa to counter misinformation and disinformation to emerge stronger.
It is the second round for South Africa to host the BRICS Media Forum. Its first in 2015 was the maiden edition and now the 6th edition. The gathering of the media practitioners, policymakers and other stakeholders was a platform to strengthen the media to do its job of telling a better story of BRICS and Africa, as well as help reorient the minds of the people to thwart modern-day oppression. This, the bloc believes, is possible by fighting off misinformation, disinformation and fake news at a time of growing anti-BRICS sentiments. Speakers gave thought-provoking remarks on the 2023 theme, BRICS in Africa, Strengthening Media Dialogue for a Shared and Unbiased Future, which will translate in infrastructure development among the community and revamping of communication networks to rise to the occasion. The executive chairman of BRICS Media Forum, Mr. Fu Hua, said the bloc must leverage on all opportunities and build on cooperation among the BRICS media network. The executive chairman of the independent media in South Africa, Dr. Savi, said the media must move from ideas, concepts and theories to concrete practice and also use present digital systems and technologies to cross-check facts and promote truth.
It's really important that we give voice to the needs of our people, our communities and our societies. And through media we can do this. We must be the voice of the underprivileged. We can only applaud countries such as China that has taken more than 600 million people out of poverty over the last 3 decades. And those kind of concrete examples need to be part of our future journey as well.
A member of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, ANC, Dr. Dakota Legoti, called for openness and inclusiveness.
This platform hopefully can become an impetus for sharing experiences for development, how to build a better infrastructure, how to optimize agricultural development for food security, how to advance science and innovation in education, and more importantly, how do we become responsible custodians of Mother Earth for the future of humankind.
For Russia, its interest is to help BRICS media and partners with adequate resources and forge better connections to promote and fight against neocolonialism. Brazil, on the other hand, is to fight fake news and give value to the media to work independently. The BRICS Media Forum asserts that the vision of attaining growth and prosperity for the bloc and Africa will only be achieved with effective participation of the media because BRICS has its own story to tell.
16 Nigerian high school students are on their way to the United States of America to be housed by American foster families, where they will be learning that country's foreign policy goals of promoting civil society and youth leadership. Adebola Brookslyn reports that the program is geared towards building lasting ties between America and Nigeria.
These are young Nigerian high school students, all of them in senior secondary 1. Majority of them are from Gombe, Adamawa, Bauchi, and Kaduna states. They will be spending about 1 year in various states in the United States of America. Global exposure, self-confidence, tolerance for other cultures are some of the benefits the students will be getting from the program.
You are now cultural ambassadors. What does that mean? It's a pretty heavy responsibility. It means that you are representing Nigeria to foreign publics, the way I am right now representing the United States to all of you.
Blessing Oriogbu is the president, Alumni Association of the Kennedy Lugar Yes program in Nigeria. She was 15 years old when she participated in the program.
I was opportune to share my culture as a Nigerian to them, to, clear some crazy stereotypes they had about Africa as large and that they have about Nigeria. Also able to learn from the American culture as well and bring the spirit of volunteerism and community service down to Nigeria.
When I come back to Nigeria, I will make sure I share my experience. I will make sure I teach my family, my friends, my state, and especially country at large the experience of living with a host family.
It's going to really help. They are going to be able to change Nigeria. So I look forward to that, and I want to be part of that change.
About 400 Nigerian high school students have benefited from the program, which began in 2003.
There have been a lot of gains. One, friendship has been developed between Americans and Nigerians. Some of these students, they have gone back to the United States. Their parents, now they have two parents, Nigeria and the USA. So they've gone back. The parents have taken them. They are paid for their school.
And it's a life-changing experience. It's a chance for them to teach Americans about Nigeria and for them to learn about the United States from a first-hand perspective. It really creates a link, a connection between our two countries.
The program, domiciled in northern Nigeria, is however open to all students, irrespective of tribe and religion. Adebola Brooksland, NTA News.
Some 5,000 Brazilian diasporans are to visit Ghana and countries along the west and central coast of Africa in May 2024. The heritage voyage of return seeks to afford the Brazilian tourist an opportunity to visit their ancestral roots and bond with their people.
The transatlantic slave trade from the 16th to the 19th centuries has been described as one of the darkest periods of the human race. An estimated 15 million gallant men, women and children from Africa were sold into servitude. On their journey across the Atlantic Ocean, the slaves were chained together and forced to lie shoulder to shoulder. For some, their limbs and tongues were cut off and babies fed to alligators as bait as they embarked on the perilous journey of no return. According to historians, it's been over 400 years since the last slave ship left the coast of the continent. To mark the period and increase awareness globally, various initiatives are currently ongoing, with the United Nations, for instance, setting aside December 2 as International Day of the Abolition of Slavery. In the case of Ghana, 2019 was earmarked to celebrate the Year of Return, a program which saw a significant number of diasporans visit Ghana to bond with their people for the first time. In Accra, Ghana, the Diaspora African Forum has signed an MOU with the African Pride Organization to bring to the continent 5,000 Brazilians. The tourists who will leave the shores of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil will sail across the shores of Western and Central African countries, ending in Lagos, Nigeria. According to officials of the African Pride Organization, the 21-day program will enable the tourists to visit key attraction sites to have first-hand information on how their ancestors lived and also come to terms with existing relics of the slave trade.
During centuries, people were kidnapped here and they are brought to Brazil. And that people, they arrived there with knowledge, with power in their own minds, with culture, with history, and they built another country.
Now, about this combination and this relationship that is about to take place, it's going to increase and more opportunities and connect us to Brazil because our brothers are yearning to get back home.
Ambassador Dr. Erica Bennett encouraged more diasporans to visit the continent for a soul-searching experience.
We're just very excited about what we're doing today. This is really a dream come true for me and for Nurse Brenda and our board members who've worked very hard to make this embassy relevant to the diaspora Africans.
The ambassador of Equatorial Guinea to Ghana, Mauricio Obama, has bid farewell to President Akufo-Addo at the Jubilee House in Accra after his duty tour of the country. Obama promised to utilize every opportunity to assist Ghana when the need arises.
Historically, the relationship between Accra and Malabo revolved around cocoa, but currently it is liquefied natural gas. As of 2019, Ghana's import from Equatorial Guinea was $1.4 million, while export from Accra to Malabo stood at $608,000. The envoy of Equatorial Guinea to Ghana, Mr. Mauricio Moro Obama, has finished his duty tour and was at the Jubilee House to say goodbye to President Akufo-Addo.
The relations between our two countries are good relations. Your president is one of the senior figures in African politics in our time, and a man with whom I have very good relations. The relations between our two countries is also a good relationship. I had hoped that I would be able to visit Equatorial Guinea in recent times, but that hasn't been possible. Who knows? Under your successor, I might be able to go. And also to have him here. He's been here several times. I know he has a lot of interest in Ghana, assets in Ghana, and a lot of interest in the country. So you've done well to continue the relationship between our two countries. They'll continue to be good under your tenure. So you have accomplished your purpose here in Ghana. We want to congratulate you for that, and also to thank you for keeping afloat the relations between Ghana and Equatorial Guinea.
Equatorial Guinea is the only Spanish-speaking country in Africa.
We'll take a break now. More stories when we return.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
Glad to know you're still there. Having identified social inclusion in digital and innovation space as key enabler of women empowerment, the Renewed Hope initiative of Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has flagged off a women ICT training empowerment program to equip more women with digital skills. State House correspondent Adeni Itairo reports that 35 women drawn from the FCT and its environs are beneficiaries at the pilot scheme organized in collaboration with NIFDA.
At 33, Blessing Ihalo is still a job seeker. Her several attempts to land a white-collar job yet to succeed. But the narrative is set to change for her and 34 other lucky women who are acquiring requisite skills in ICT, taking advantage of the pilot scheme of the Women ICT Empowerment Training organized by the Renewed Hope Initiative of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, in partnership with the National Information Technology Development Agency, NTA.
It's going to help me at least, since I'm going to be trained, and during the process of the training, I'm going to use that knowledge to forge ahead. At least I'm not going to remain dormant.
I'm not so good at the ICT field, but I guess it's going to impact more women and young ones to achieve and to have that experience and knowledge of ICT.
I'm going to create a website and also create an Instagram account for my business too.
Flagging of the training on behalf of the First Lady, her Senior Special Advisor on Policy and Strategy, Wahab Alawiye King, says empowerment of women through digital literacy offers beneficiaries a wide range of creative opportunities to thrive as functional members of the society.
It is a thing we can use to, rearrange the trajectory to make our nation a better place using women. It is part of the economy empowerment program of the New Hope Initiative.
Part of the thing that we'll be teaching the women basically has to do with digital marketing, for example, where women who are aspiring to have businesses will be able to market their businesses online without the help of anybody.
To further ensure that the seeds of empowerment have rooms to germinate quickly, the training comes with starter packs.
At the end of the program, they are going to be given a laptop and a kind of a seed money to support them, to kickstart whatever they want to do.
With NTA's 2030 target of achieving 95% digital literacy in Nigeria, the collaboration that birthed the empowerment training is strategic for the realization of the agency's mandates.
Partnering with them gives us an opportunity to reach out to a larger number of people and those whom a demographic that wouldn't have captured if we were doing it alone.
The training will go around the country on periodic basis. In Abuja, NTAi, NTA News.
Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Malagi, says his experience as a media chief executive is an advantage as he promised reforms that will reposition the ministry towards achieving its objective under the Renewed Hope mantra. The Information Minister and that of Tourism, Lola Adejan, was at Radio House where he engaged officials of the agencies and parastatals under his ministry.
Today is not for policy pronouncements. We are just here to familiarize ourselves with all the stakeholders in the ministry. But what I can say is that all of us, and I'm also speaking, I'm sure, on behalf of my two sisters here, that we are all poised to ensure that the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President will now gain serious traction.
And still on assumption of office of ministers, Minister of State for Environment, Isiaq Salako, has attributed most of environmental challenges confronting the world to ignorance. He therefore stressed the need for better collaboration with the media towards greater enlightenment and sensitization. Isiaq Salako stated this at his assumption of office as Minister of State for Environment. The minister said the environment must be kept in a sustainable manner for future generations.
Every department is important and every staff is very important, from the lowest to the highest. I'm going to be tasking all of us. It's not going to be business as usual. So we must play as a team so that at the end of the day we can all chest out and be proud that the Federal Minister of Environment has done very well. You must see that protecting the environment is an obligatory duty that you have. And we will count on the media as partner to achieve that.
All solicited the support of all Nigerians for the actualization of the President's Renewed Hope agenda. The the federal government is determined to deploy available resources towards ensuring Nigeria remains food secured. Musa Ali reports that the ministry has mandated the change to include food security.
Between 1999 and 2023, 17 ministers have been appointed to drive government's national policy on agriculture. The name of the ministry has also been changed thrice, from the Ministry of Agriculture and Water Resources to Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, and now Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Abubakar Kyari from Borno State, Minister of State Aliu Sabi Abdullahi from Niger State are the new ministers for the ministry.
The biggest hope we have is the political will driven by the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Our target is not only to secure and feed the country, but also to export food, which we have that potential.
The rechristening of Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development to Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is not without a purpose. Mr. President has already declared emergency on food security, and I'm sure when we get down to work, we'll understand the import of our mission.
They have come to hit the ground running.
The mandate of the ministry is to provide enabling environment for effective and productive food production activities, make inputs available, as well as pest and disease control in crop and livestock. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
And we promise to bring more on assumption of duties of ministers in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, up next is Tuesday's weather prospect for Nigerian cities and other parts of the world. That's the news on NTA International. Thanks for being a part of it. On larger day, Bello and my sign language interpreter has been Precious Ozemina.